Hey,
Hello.
how are you? I know
My
you've
voice is
seen.
shot.
I well, I'll try not to let you. I'll try to take most of the talk. That's not a problem. I can cover all the talking. Everybody knows I could at least handle that part. Chatterbox that I am. But I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
Well,
Anything?
I'm feeling fine. It's just my voice is shot.
Ooh, yeah. You sound like me when I hate the big C, the
Yeah.
nasty virus.
No,
Ooh,
like I said, I'm not sick. My throat doesn't hurt. I don't have the runny nose. I'm not all clogged up. My voice is shot.
man. You drink plenty of tea, fluids, whatever. Oi,
Yeah, but trying
I know.
drugs. I got a cough drop in my mouth at the moment.
Okay, well, this was good. Well, hello everyone in chat. We're gonna do some updates today. We might as well just get right into it. It's been one heck of a day for me with electronics and devices. It's one of those everything comes in threes and fours and sixes days or whatever. Like whatever could go wrong electronic wise has gone wrong. Well, we're on the positive now because I did get online, so that got that part fixed.
There's a bonus.
Yeah, and currently the phone that's been dead since last night is currently charging. They were able to fix it, so hopefully that'll all get taken care of. You know. So all right. So on that tonight we have three things for you, right, Jake? We got like first of all, there's a bit of a delay. It's kind of old news, but Barry Morphew, the case has been dismissed with prejudice. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna let you. It's gonna feel so good, Jay. You'll feel so
I
good
feel so
because
vindicated.
you do because the reason that you were on the side, if I remember correctly, the reason you were like, "Oh, Claire, don't get so excited about that 143-page indictment, arrest warrant. It's nothing because there's no body." How many times did you say there's no
No,
body?
it wasn't so much
Right?
that there was no body, there was no evidence of a crime.
Right. There was no. Well, there was all those plastic bags he put in the dumpster,
Yeah,
but
but that doesn't mean it was body related or crime scene related. That could have just been from a job another job site.
this is true. I'm going to grant you grace. There you go. I get it. I get it. But it was extraordinary to have that much in an arrest warrant, you have to admit. And you were right, because the reason they're dismissing the case, based on what they are saying, and hold on, I'm just gonna I actually have it here. Oh, I'm gonna go up. Linda Stanley put in a motion to dismiss without prejudice. Okay, from the district attorney in the 11th district. There they are. In oh gosh, what the heck? Oh, sorry, my screen just decided to go wonky and eat the document. Oh, well, they're in Fremont County, Colorado, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that's the 11th Judicial District, and she filed with them for a motion to dismiss without prejudice, and basically saying that, when they charged Barry Morphew, they charged him on the evidence that they had, but they did not have a body. Okay, and that because the trial was set to begin in May, and then they moved it up. It was going to be April 28th. They thought that since they had focused all of their energy in searching only one area for the body, they got new information that they were going to go forward. And they thought that once the ground defrosted a little bit and their search efforts could be more fruitful, that they were going to find the body. And they decided it would be a better case based on everything going on, and they just used their discretion to dismiss pending further criminal actions when a body comes through.
Mhm. Which
Um,
was smart of them their part,
mhm,
dismissing it with prejudice,
mhm,
because that allows them to, if they do get new information, they can retry him again or rearrest him
mhm.
for the same. Because if they had done it without prejudice, that means they would not be able to um, charge him for this crime because
Right,
so when they
right.
dismiss with prejudice, that means, hey, we don't have enough evidence at this time, but we're going to hold it just in case we get more evidence, we can still charge you for it later.
Exactly. And the other thing is that all the evidence that they do have, if it wasn't already declared by the court for some reason to be tainted or whatever, it's all still, going to be coming back into a new trial should they file, it'll all be used again. But what I did find interesting is that some of the things that the allegations and all that they had out there against the prosecutors in general, if you remember, this is the case where his attorneys, Barry Morphew and his attorneys, they decided to sue like everybody involved in the investigation. Everyone.
I do need
Every single person.
I do need to make a correction because Raven did correct me. I had them backwards. Without prejudice is so they can retry. With prejudice means they can't.
Right. Without prejudice.
I had those backwards.
Yeah. We filed without prejudice here.
Yeah. But I said they filed.
Yeah.
They dismissed with prejudice. They without prejudice. I mean I had them backwards.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So actually, well, not always, Aaron, no body, no crime. I know that's a popular conception, but they have prosecuted without a body before. They have declared people dead without a body before and then prosecuted others for it.
The difference on that though is there was evidence of a crime.
Right.
There was
exactly.
And they don't have evidence of a crime in this one.
They don't have a crime scene is what you mean. I don't want to say no evidence. I refuse to say those words, Jay, because there was a 141-page arrest document.
But that 100, you could have put anybody's name in that and still come up with the same thing.
True. They not necessarily. I will grant you that. If you couch the conversation accurately, I will grant you that. It does not necessarily mean Barry did it. The evidence doesn't all point directly to Barry. It is a lot of circumstantial. There's a lot of stuff there. But it's a 141-page arrest warrant with a lot of documentation. So the fact that when you just cannot liberally toss at me no evidence, because I just can't go there with all of that I'm looking at. There's just no way. Would you say there's no evidence that directly indicates Barry Morphew? Possibly. But we do have stuff from the hotel room, the bleach, the chemicals, the way he tried to clean up. There's a lot there.
Yeah, it's all circumstantial. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is, and let's just say they got a bad case. It doesn't mean they don't have the right guy. I'll say they got a bad case. Yeah.
I 100%. Like I said from the beginning, I believe if he didn't do it, he had something to do with it. Don't get me wrong. But what they had the evidence they had, I just could not see them convicting or trying him for it because everything was circumstantial.
And I'm happy that they're seeing that, because they did have some problems in the prosecution office when they did not declare the DNA of that one person from the sex offenders list, that they found some DNA when it did not get accurately declared properly. And then they didn't really want to come forward. And then one of the people actually left the team. I'm not going to go into all the semantics about the dates and the people and all of that. That's all in our prior videos that we did on it, and what happened there. Basically, just to say that this is definitely dismissed. They are definitely holding on to all of the evidence, and it really looks like they're setting it up for retrial, because even in the motion to dismiss, they went through all the precedents and all the precedents to list rather that they're not being prejudicial against the defendant, why they're not, and that clearly he will have the opportunity to defend himself again, but that it actually preserves his rights to regain, to make sure he still has counsel, to make sure he's getting everything in row, to prepare his defense accordingly, and to give him more time too. And the way that they stated it, it just really looks like they're definitely still coming for Barry Morphew in some way, should they get the evidence. Now, it does not say anywhere where that, you see, my phone is charging now. It's like going to be interrupting us. It does not say anywhere like where they think this body is, but it is evidence that they received new information on a search and possibly be able to locate the body. And if they do, that's a whole bunch of new evidence, and that's a whole bunch of a whole different scenario as far as going forward. Circumstantial evidence means a lot more. If there is a body, I'll grant both you and Aaron that. I'll give it to you. All that circumstantial evidence, and I do admit that 90% of it is circumstantial, does all take on a greater weight should we get a body, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yes, Aaron, I agree with you. I do. I definitely, like, listen, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that definitely that was a landmark for me to see an arrest warrant with all of that information in it.
Oh,
I've
you should
just
have seen
never
how
even
giggly she
seen
was.
them.
She was all kinds of giggly about it.
Who was all kinds of giggly about it? Oh, with that, yes, because I had never seen anything that huge. It's why I got interested in the case. But you know, this Mother's Day grants 2 years that she's been missing. You know, and that's a long time, right? That, you know, that the chances of her being, like, all those rumors about her being somewhere else with a lover or whatever are pretty small. I don't think she'd leave her children. The daughters, I believe you said, Jay, were speaking out
for the very first time.
Yeah. What they did Good Morning America, didn't they recently?
Yeah, I've got it pulled up. What they said.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Oh, okay. You want to go ahead? Are you okay to read it, or you want me to?
I'm okay. They say, we just know our dad better than anyone else, and we know that he's not involved in our mom's disappearance, said Mallory Morphew on Good Morning America. As her sister, Macy, nodded in agreement. Barry Morphew sat between them holding their hands, says, I just love my girls and I love my wife. I just want her to be found. And it was the first time that her daughters had spoken to the media about the allegations of their father. The comments came just before the second anniversary of her mother's disappearance. Now, this is what I find interesting, because this article that I'm looking at also tells you why the charges were dropped. So it says the prosecutors dropped the criminal charges against Barry after a judge prohibited them from presenting most of their key witnesses at the trial as punishment for repeatedly failing to follow the rules of turning over evidence. The evidence included DNA from an unknown male linked to the sexual assault case in other states, which was found in her SUV, raising the possibility of another suspect involved.
Right. You know, and I think you and I both talked about that was a big mess up on their part. You know, I don't know if it was intentional to, you know, it could have just happened because it happened, you know, but then the fact that they didn't just come right out with it, own up to it, and put it all out there, does make it look really, really sus, because there was supposedly conversations that, you know, investigators were told not to speak about it, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. We've had a lot of, like, yucky stuff happen in this behind the scenes as far as how the prosecution and the defense were dealing with each other. Not really well. Not really, you know, they're adversaries. I get that. But proper conduct would be nice.
Well,
know,
the biggest,
as far as professional, you know.
One of the biggest things for me, and it's one of the things I say a lot of these prosecutors have problems with, is they will hone in on one suspect and they get stuck. And that's what I think happened here with this one. They homed in on the husband doing it. And then there was no chance that anybody else could have done it. It was just him. And I think that's what hurt them, is because they didn't, you know, and like the one said, that they completely refused to give the defense the DNA evidence that was found with somebody else, because they were so sure that he did it, that they weren't looking anywhere else and trying to bury anything else that says he didn't do it.
Right. And if you've got a real case, you shouldn't really be afraid of that kind of stuff. You can eliminate it. You know, you can actually do the scenario. But what you can't do is keep evidence from either side. You know, you have to fully disclose in both ways. You've got to follow protocol. You have to follow standard operating procedures, or you get an illegal quagmire like we had here. But there was other things that didn't even involve, like, the lawyers back and forth. When Barry was released on bail, he had to wear a monitor that could not be picked up where he lived. Yeah. And they left him out there anyway with that monitor all day. And all he had to do was drive to a couple of towns over and check in once a day. So he was really supposed to be released, according to the court documents, on 24/7 monitorization of where he was at all times. And he was free roaming the whole time, all day, anywhere he wanted until he checked in. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, for a murder suspect, whether you think they did it or not, that's just making exceptions all over the place for this guy. He had a girlfriend that actually kept going back to the house that he lived in with the wife, Got some charges on her for climbing in and going and taking packages and stuff. And, everything just looked a little weird. Everything about this case is just not right. So it's going to stay active, Jay. Like, I'm not tossing this one.
No,
like,
no,
usually if something gets dismissed or put aside, like I put it way on the back burner. Nah, I'm going to have to keep checking in on this one, like every couple of days, because, man, it's just, there's just something not right here. Just something just not right. It's like,
that's a breaking news one for you if you wanted to cover that real quick.
Okay.
The one, the link I just sent you?
Yeah, I just popped it up. Wait a minute. I'm waiting for my damn slow ass computer today, the laptop to open up. But damn, who are they all right, wait. Am I gonna go?
Well, I can do it real quick. I don't know how many.
Who's this? Oh wait, this isn't revolved into this case.
No. Right? This is a different case. So we can go into this one. This is just as of 6:02. So let's finish Morphew and then we talk about this one.
Well, I think unless anybody has any questions, we're finished with Morphew because we're going to keep up on him tonight. But unless anybody has anything to say about him that you want me to pull up, we'll just let Jay announce this one because tonight we do have some new stuff we want to talk about too. And another really old one that we want to bring to light for people that we want to just keep following on. So it doesn't look like anybody has anything to ask. If they do, we'll go back to it. So go on, Jay. Go on with your breaking news.
This is actually, it is breaking news as of 6:02 p.m. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but the jail employee Vicky White, who broke out her suspect Casey White, have been apprehended in Indiana after a 10-day manhunt.
Oh, okay. So they got him.
Yeah, they led the police on a car chase that ended in a wreck. She was driving the Cadillac and has been hospitalized with very serious injuries from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Basically what happened is she walked him out to the car, put him in the car, and they drove away. And they've been hunting for him ever since.
On the last day of her retirement, like right before she retired, she decided to
it was
break him out.
The day she was retiring, the next day, and she broke him out the day before her retirement.
And he's in there for capital murder, isn't he? 2 counts.
I believe that's what it was. Yeah. From
a stabbing back in 2014, 2015, like really old. Like it's older. Yeah.
2 count. Yeah, stabbing a woman to death in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, he's not getting out of jail again. Did you say she was stabbed? She was stabbed?
No, she shot herself. Is what it's self-inflicted. He had stabbed a woman in 2015 is why he was in jail.
Oh, right. And then she shot herself to look like she wasn't complete. Oh my God.
Yeah. So they ditched the Ford Edge they were driving in Tennessee. And then just hours after the jailbreak, and then they were found in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, so both of their last names are White. Did she marry him while he was in there?
I don't know. I haven't found that. I have always wondered that, but I haven't seen.
I mean, it could be a coincidence that.
But like I said, I haven't seen whether the fact that they were involved. I mean, like married or anything. Yeah. But I haven't been following the case too much. I've just been kind of eyeballing it, keeping an eye on it. But yeah.
Aaron says, I guess she wanted to see the facilities from the other side. I guess like she wanted to know like, oh yeah, like I've been on this side of it all along. So I'm retiring. Let me just go check what it's like over there. I'll just go back.
Okay. April Penrod said there's no relation. They said in our news tonight here in Indiana.
Okay. Matt Black says to add a note that the DNA in the Barry Morphew case is ruled out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to take
Making
a look
that
at
note.
Yeah.
Thank you for contributing. Hello, Nimrod.
Like I
And
said, I
April.
just wanted to throw that in there because it was breaking news.
Oh, April said there's no, here we go. April says, breaking news, there's no relation, they said on our news tonight here in Indiana. Thank you. It just occurred to me because they both had the same name, you know.
I just said that. I understand my voice is shot, but
Oh, am I lulling you to sleep now, Nimrod? Be careful. Don't fall over or anything, you know. But I'm glad.
Right.
I like making people happy, however that might be.
So what we got next?
Okay. Well, next there's well, thanks for that breaking news, by the way. I guess we should follow up on that a little bit. What I have next is a very old case. Madeleine McCann.
Oh, Madeleine McCann. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Madeleine McCann went missing, what, like
15 years ago?
15 years ago. Okay. While her parents were on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was quite young at the time. 15 years ago. And it's been going back and forth. They had quite a few suspects. They never found a body. They never found anything. Okay, there's been lots of speculation that perhaps a pedo ring had taken her. There was a gentleman that they were going to do suspects on. They did finally file charges on somebody. Let me get this up here.
Yeah, she was abducted in and around a Portuguese resort town.
Right. Oh, so actually, Christian Bruckner, who's been on their radar all along, he was officially named a suspect on April 26th of this year. Now, they're coming up to the anniversary where they're not going to be able to charge anybody. They got to stop the clock, so to speak. So I think that they went forward, and I believe they actually charged him, didn't they? But then he's actually in jail for raping a 17-year-old American in the village.
72-year-old American.
72-year-old American who in the same village where McCann disappeared. Now, he denies to taking any part about it, but back in January, there was a German documentary team that came out and found proof that Bruckner did odd jobs at the Ocean Club where in the spring of 2007, where it was very familiar with the layout and the multi-billion resort where they had stayed, where the family had stayed when she disappeared, and including all the exits and travel things and stuff like that, where he had denied before any knowledge. So like they've got that he denies anything about it, but then now they're proving that, you know, he actually did have knowledge of this and everything. So they're not really believing him, you know. He had been guilty of hoarding, like, you know, he had kiddie porn, you know, little kids bathing suits everywhere. Like the guy's not a good guy. Okay. But there is a lot of, the reason I'm looking at it is like people have been following this case for a long time, and not everybody agrees that this guy should have been charged. Like they think it's a last ditch effort, which it does look like, to stop the clock so that they can still pursue on anyone with this. And so I'm wondering, like, you know, that kind of makes me feel a little odd. Like I know we got to do certain things, you know, in legal, like to keep a case open and to keep the suspects alive and all of that. And I guess it doesn't matter much since he's already in jail for something. Like it's not really going to interfere with his life too much. You know, it's not like he's going to lose a job or anything because they're accusing him of something, you know, so I guess it's not too bad. But I just thought, you know, they would need more. I mean, I guess as long as there's new evidence, you can go forward and charge somebody. But, you know, to go 15 years without charging him, because they were looking at him hard in the beginning, weren't they? Yeah. And then they just let him go.
Yeah. So you know? The article says Walters believes that Bruckner was commissioned, which Walters is the prosecutor.
Is the prosecutor, Walters, right?
Was commissioned to kidnap McCann for a pedophile sex ring and then killed her, likely because the media attention to her case, which would have made it impossible to sell her or use her in illegal underage pornography. Bruckner also wrote a series of bizarre letters to a German journalist who asked him if he was involved. He wrote back and explained how it wasn't him. In one of the excerpts of the letter, he wrote a confusing missive that once denied and toyed with his involvement. It said, Where possible, only drive during the day so my battered hippie bus didn't attract attention. Only driving on roads I needed to, and most importantly, never provoking the police.
I don't see.
Yeah, he said he wrote that by way of explanation that he was staying out of sight because of his alleged drug dealing for which he was later convicted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that means not
Mm-hmm.
committing any crimes, certainly not abducting
Right.
anyone. Having said that, it was just as served to
Mm-hmm.
me the time of the starting of a nuclear war and slaughtering a chicken.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. Okay. Listen, Aaron's right. What cleared him in the first place? Not much, just lack of evidence and just their judicial process in general. They had a hard time tying him to the scene, which now they can a little more. But he has been the prime subject all along, besides the parents, which Matt Black, I do agree. The parents were hot suspects all along.
Mhm.
And I don't know if anybody has actually officially cleared them, except for that they have charged this guy. All right. All right.
Walters says the new proof that they have is not forensic, but a local media in Portugal say it may be threads of the girl's pink pajamas that she was wearing when they snatched her from the bed in May of 2007.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The parents were never cleared. And on the evidence, no evidence of an abduction. In other words, yep, they don't, because they're having a hard time actually getting anything together on that to prove that he took her. But there was talk about they were going to find her, like, there's waterways and stuff and all these places that they looked for the body for a long time. But she would be 18 now, 19.
According to this article, it says Portuguese police first focused on McCann's parents, both doctors, who they suggested gave their daughter a sleeping drug that accidentally killed her. After wasting months on that theory, they finally cleared the couple, but by then the trail to the real criminal or criminals had gone cold.
Well, there you go. So anyway, they're stepping it up based on limitations in their state, in their country, actually, not their state. And I actually know a few people that have been following it since they heard about it, like, a long time ago, just out of interest because it hit the news a lot there. And it's going to be hitting the news here now. So I think as an unsolved, it might be something the murder minions might want to track a little bit because it's older, but there is new activity going on with it right now, which makes it a little more interesting than some of the ones that are like completely, dead with no activity for a while. You know what I mean? So this one at least has some activity going. And yeah, especially in regards to the families, like that, we can search to see like what's going on with the parents at this point and if they're still looking at them. I mean, you know what, Matt Black, I don't know why, but I totally kind of agree with you. Just like what I have not gone into it really deeply. I just learned about this case a week or so ago. I mean, because it wasn't in our country and I hadn't really been paying attention to it. Well, from what I'm looking and reading, I don't really think he is either. Because I just think he's a sloppy criminal and there would be more. Just based on the stuff they got him on already, he's in jail and what he did in his prior crimes, it just doesn't fit that he could get away with it that cleanly. And I don't know where you're coming from it, but that's where I am. And
the article does state that he has not been charged in connection to the disappearance or presumed murder, but they're searching for the woman he says he was with that night to either corroborate his alibi or shed light on what really happened. So,
oh, Robsky, if you need Scooby snacks, see a moderator. They're in charge of like passing out the Scooby snacks for murder minion meetings. Okay. Welcome, Juliana. Okay. So no system is perfect and no person is unbiased. When you have 99% of a case committed by X and Y, and then Z does it, Z gets away with it because of bias. That's perfect, because that's kind of what happened in Morphew. They were so focused over there. If there is a guilty guy, he's just like whistling. He's out there whistling away while Morphew has all this trouble. And they're just typing him up. On all of this.
We have Scooby snacks.
Well, apparently Raven does. She has the Scooby-Doo snacks. Pass them out, Raven. I think Robsky over there is looking for some, but so But anyway, that's a nice old case that we're going to be following a little more. And then the
Oh, you got to do the Instagram one.
oh my God. All right, people. This one's ridiculous. Okay. So I get this Instagram post and I don't believe it because I figure the title alone is just crazy. You know, it's just like an Indiana husband has been charged with the murder of his wife, and he just won a primary for superintendent. He just won a primary to get on a ballot for a superintendent's position in Indiana. And he won. He like, and it's a small thing. Like he got like 60 votes, but he got 60 votes where only 270 people were voting. Like this is insane to me, but it is the way our country is. Like you can get charged with murder and still win a primary to run for government office.
So let me read you what this says. So it says an Indiana man who's accused of killing a cancer-stricken wife after she was seeking a divorce won his GOP primary this week from jail and will be on the ballot in November if he had not been convicted. Andrew Wilhoite was charged in March with killing his wife, Elizabeth. She had completed her last chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer, was seeking a divorce when she found out her husband had an affair. When the Lebanon, Indiana couple got into a domestic dispute in late March, Andrew allegedly struck her in the head with a concrete gallon-sized flower pot, placed her in his car, and dumped her body in a nearby creek. Yep. Despite the circumstances surrounding his wife's killing, Wilhoite, who initially lied about the whereabouts but later admitted to killing her after she attacked him, won his primary on Tuesday for one of 3 open seats in Clinton Township Board.
Yep. All right. And that's the, first of all, we're really appalled that he, first, she just received her last chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer. Okay. She finds out that he's, of course she's now, moving towards healing. So she finds out he has an affair during, let's just be clear. He had the affair during her cancer treatments. Okay. So then they get into a fight. He said she lunged at him. Like I'm reading the affidavit. She said she lunged at him in the argument. So he just picked up a concrete, like I'm trying to picture a concrete flower pot. That sounds pretty heavy, right?
Yeah. They're not light.
Yeah. So he just picked it up and conked her with her and then just dragged her off in his car and dumped her in the creek, because she was found in I think 3 feet of water. Like it wasn't, she wasn't deeply submerged or anything like that. And I just went back home. And then when they came, she didn't show up for work. She works in a dental office. She always has. And she's even during her treatments and everything, she was very, always showed up on time. Not a lot of absences. She was missed right away on the 25th. Okay, this supposedly happened on the 24th that he conked her in the head with the flower pot. On the 25th, she doesn't show up for work. They report her missing. The police come by and he says, oh, well, we were fighting. So I was sleeping on the couch, so I'm not really sure. So they check up in the room and they find some blood splatter. Now, I'm trying to figure out why there's any of that in the bedroom. Jay. If there's a flower pot involved. Anyway, that kind of caught my attention. Just caught my attention. I don't know what we're going to find out later, but or maybe it's just something I misread. But they found blood that he said was scratches and a nosebleed from him. Scratches. She scratched, based on her treatments and all. She scratched a lot, so that's what the blood was. And he had a nosebleed. Okay. But the pressure got to him, and on the 26th, which is just the very next day, he changed his story and told them what he did. While he is in there under bail, okay. Obviously this was in March, okay, and now we come back to the primaries right now, and they run the election, and 270 people vote, and he is the third person on this ballot, okay, and he gets to run. Now. Accordingly, he could be sitting in jail right now, waiting for conviction or waiting for trial. And if he wins his primary, he can actually perform the duties from jail because he could phone in, requests, whatever. There's no reason, because he's not convicted, that he can't hold that position. There is no law that says we cannot vote him in there. that the people can vote him in for that position, whether he's sitting in jail, charged with the murder or not, because he has not been convicted yet at all.
He
Now, should
admitted to it.
I know, I get that, but
What the
it's
hell?
the
He
absurdity.
admitted to
This
it.
is
Why
why
did
we're
it?
talking about it. He
Yeah, it's like
admitted it, right?
just because he hasn't been convicted, he admitted he hit her in the head with the flower pot.
Listen. Okay, I'll say, all right. So listen, anyone facing felony charges can still run for local office. They will become ineligible as soon as they get convicted. Okay, but you're innocent until proven guilty around here. Okay, this is the quote from Brad King, the co-director of the Indiana Election Division. He says, "Under our legal system, every person is until proven guilty. If a candidate is ultimately convicted, then depending upon the timing of that conviction, the person can be replaced on the ballot by the political party that has the vacancy. Because as soon as he is convicted, he's out, like gone. You can't have office. Like he's just off. Whether he's in there or not, I'm pretty sure they're going to get him out. But King noted that there's no law barring anyone who is jailed ahead of trial from exercising the duties of their office if they get elected."
April says they said on the news here in Indiana that he'll be sworn in right from jail if he wins.
Yep. And he'll be able to, by phone, do whatever he needs to do to maintain the office, which I find absolutely hysterical. I just find this to me is humorous.
He literally admitted to bashing her skull in with this concrete pot, but hey, let's put him on the primary anyways.
Exactly. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Oh, they got new cases going on in here. Okay, first of all, let me finish this one, and then I'm going to look at some of that I'm seeing in there. Okay, where was this? Juliana, this was in Indiana. If you're asking about the case we're talking about right now, because I'm looking, into the older messages. Okay, I know. About the McCann case, I do agree, Robsky. It was like really big news for quite a while in the UK. It was over here. It's been in Australia, everywhere. It kind of died back. It died back because there was nothing going on. And so it kind of caught my attention, somebody else's attention, rather, who brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I have no thought on the case because I haven't followed it. I just remember the case, but I don't know. I didn't know a lot of the details, so I'd have to look into it farther before I can make a decision.
Which one, on McCann? Yeah,
the McCann,
myself. Yeah, myself too. There's really not, like, I have to go back into a lot. I'm sure we can get more access to some of the older stuff, and that's what I'm going to be looking into, because I think as Unsolved, it is something we could put in the murder. I'm going to start a room in the Murder Minions area for it, and just start, putting whatever we can find there. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. Welcome to America. First, there are only Republicans on the ballot. No Democrats came forward for this position, by the way. And the other
I thought that was just for
the
GOP side of it.
I don't know. They said there were no Democrats. Why would they mention that then if it was just the GOP? They actually put a line in the article about it, that there were no Democrats that came forward for the position. So why would they if it was only?
I didn't see the article. I just
thing?
Seen the Instagram thing that you sent.
Yeah. Oh no, there's articles. Boy, are there.
Well, I'd imagine there was. I didn't look into it.
But here's an interesting note that Andrew Wilhoite, that's his name, Andrew Wilhoite, I believe is how you say it. His mother is in politics in the same county there, and because of that, the sheriff's office definitely took back seat to this investigation right away, and they have turned it over to the state, right away, so that it gets looked at properly, and there can be no funny business stuff going on. They're going to let them take lead, and so that there is not going to be anything about local politics or anything that involved, which is a good thing, because it is a serious charge. Murder is a serious charge, and they don't want any monkey business going on. and they don't want anybody to even think there would be anything going on, which is good. So they're following. I was happy to see that the local sheriff just turned it right over, and they'll assist, and they're helping with interviews and processing of stuff and everything, but they're going to take this back seat. I don't think I could pick up. If I'm Raven, I know you say you could pick up a concrete flower pot, but I'm looking at the ones that I see around here in the houses, and they are like 3 feet high.
Oh, trust me, she could swing that son of a bitch if she wanted to.
And they are like solid concrete, and it's like I can't even like push one even an inch. Like, so bless you if you can pick one up. I mean, I don't know if they're the same kind, but like around here, they're just huge. I can't even imagine he threw it at her head. It must have been a much smaller one. Much better. Okay. All right. So Robsky says, as the water level in Lake Mead, Las Vegas continues to drop, more bodies are being discovered.
Oh, yeah, they found another
Seems
body.
like it was a dumping ground for murder victims. I'm going to look into that too. That sounds, have they identified any? That's interesting, Robsky. Feel free to send me anything you have on that, for sure.
The latest body they found, I believe, is from the late 70s, early 80s due to the shoes that he was wearing. And it was a gunshot victim.
It was a gunshot victim?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? As far as the McCann investigation, a lot of people messed that one up. Like, I don't know if we can blame one country over the other or even one person over the other, because, oh boy, let me just tell you, like, what little bit I have looked into, there's been a lot of mistakes. Yeah, definitely.
It seems to me there was a serial killer attached to Lake Mead.
I'm going to look into that. Is there other case? We have a few minutes now that we've covered. Since there's not that much detail that I can give you on McCann besides that update as of now, and the absurdity of Wilhoite is not lost on you all. I know it's just but it doesn't look like it's going to be an interesting murder case. What's going to be interesting about that is whether or not the clock runs out, because he's supposed to go on trial in August and the primary's in November. So if he's guilty in August, then we won't have to worry about it. But if for any reason they delay that trial in August and he goes on through, it's going to be quite interesting to find out if they actually get to vote and he might win and go in. Although he didn't win the majority of the votes. He was third at 60 votes, but just the fact that 60 out of 270 people voted for him while he was sitting on jail murder charges in the Hokie was fascinating to me, Jay. Like, what? Like, do you think people know what was going on with him, or they're just like, oh hell, I know Jethro, he's all right. Like, I'm gonna put him in anyway.
It's hard to tell. Things just make no sense sometimes. I can't seem to find that.
DNA is unlikely in the Lake Mead bodies. Absolutely, I guess because of either serial killer or possibly more like mob related. If it's a dumping ground, either one.
Yeah.
I mean,
See, I'm having a hard time remembering if it was an actual serial killer that was connected to Lake Mead, or if it was a TV show that I seen that had a serial killer connected to Lake Mead. I don't remember right offhand, but it seems to me that there was one that was dumping bodies in Lake Mead.
I'm saying the Spanish stopped the British experts from getting in early, and by then, what's the point? The Spanish don't like the British. I don't know if it's just because they don't like them, but it's not uncommon that in any investigation, the different organizations, whether it be small or large, a whole country or a state or a county, or even the different factions like the FBI, the C, all of this, that they don't really work well together all of the time. Everybody wants to be either top dog or whatever. And, finding them working really well together is, I find in the cases I look at, more rare than not. I mean, I don't want to say it's exclusive. I've said they do it. They do work well together occasionally, but I often see more dissension than not. unfortunately. So I could understand why two different countries would be like
Yeah.
causing problems for each other in an investigation. But you're right. I mean, whenever that does happen, it's the investigation that suffers, and it's finding out who did it, But I don't know. This is funny. Aaron says, in regards to Wilhoite, will he be in time to call off his own? Will he get elected in time to call off his own own execution? Well, fortunately, if he does get guilty and get for his, they won't let him in. Thankfully, that can't happen, because that would be like that would be a Black Mirror episode for sure. Like, for sure. I don't know. Let me see. So, any other interesting cases that you guys have that you want us to look at? Because I most of my time lately, legal wise, is going to be over in Depp Heard until the end of the trial, which is another 3 weeks or so. But I've got time to look at other things during my days off.
I'm just trying to figure out which serial killer to cover next.
Yeah, Portuguese. That's right, Matt. It was the Portuguese were involved, and yeah, Nimrod. I guess everybody looks at it from like their point of view and from their country's point of view, but the point is like no one was working well. We'd have to admit, all of us, that no one was working well in that investigation at the time. Because I could see you guys are all from different countries and going to disagree with like who messed up the investigation. We could just all agree that investigation did get messed up a little bit, and unfortunately, it's unsolved. And whenever it's unsolved that long, we're always going to think that things went wrong, and we're always going to look at things that everybody did with more of a fine-tooth comb, and try to look for some reason as to why it's still out there. But basically, it's still out there because there wasn't enough evidence. Okay, there wasn't enough to indicate anything or to find, they just didn't get it. Autistic tells us the Phoenix Sinclair. What is that? Yeah, what is the Phoenix? Have you heard of that? The Phoenix Sinclair. No. I'm going to check into that, Autistic. But back to that. I mean, so I guess that's going to be a good case to follow, McCann. What do you think?
Just keep an eye on it.
Yep, I'm going to put it in our unsolved room for sure on that. But on Wilhoite, I don't think there's going to be much there since he confessed. I think he's going to be guilty. It's just going to be a timing thing on whether or not he gets into office or gets off. And, the smartest thing would be for him, like since he confessed, would be to remove himself from the ballot. But
Phoenix Sinclair was a Canadian 5-year-old who was murdered by her mother and stepfather, beaten and shot.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll look that up, Autistic. Thank you. Oh, the children's, I know some, they get me, the children, the ones with the children, actually. They really do. But like, tell me more. I want to know more about this murder ground, like that they're draining in Lake Mead. Is this new or has this been going on? Like, why don't I know about this?
Yeah. This week they found another body. This week, last week they found a body in a barrel. I know over the years they've pulled
body in a barrel.
Over the years they've pulled bodies out of Lake Mead.
All right, body in a barrel. That automatically like goes in the mob column for me. I'm from Jersey, so body in a barrel, that always gives me mob inflections. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Points for Aaron. Here you go. He confessed. Finally, an honest politician. Except he didn't get voted in. He's not a real politician yet. But yeah. Oh my God. I don't feel that's funny line though. Yep. Honest. Yeah. He under the pressure, he did say what he did. I don't know if he's going to come up with a reason as to why he did it, like self-defense or mental incapacity or whatever, but we'll find out, Yep, always. I agree with you. Body in a barrel speaks mob to me. It's almost like cement shoes, like how could you think anything else, Or like here in New Jersey, if we find them in the pine barrens, down, in the swamp, we're always thinking, we're thinking mob. So it is, based on what I know here in cases here where we have mob burial grounds by the swamp, then to have like watery graves are not that uncommon in mob dumping grounds. So could be, Anyway, a body in a barrel preserves the evidence and leaves them to be found. In some cases, the mob likes that because they'll take the hands, they want them to be found. They just eventually, but they take some of the evidence off. But you're right. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, no, not shows, shoes. Nimrod, it's a way to keep a body underwater so that they
keeps them weighed down, so they sink.
Keeps them weighed down. So like in the mob movies, and I'm not going from personal experience here, I'm going by television, okay? and what I read and things like that. I read a lot of all right, I have to make it a confession here. I'm mob obsessed when it comes to television dramas and even books and true documentaries and things like that.
Well, you're from Jersey, so it's expected.
Yeah, so kind of like grant me a little grace, people. I know too much about mobsters. I do. And I love the show The Sopranos that HBO did with Tony Gandolfini. I just love them, put the human aspect on it. But yeah, I'm crime obsessed with mobs. It kind of goes with true crime because there's no truer crime than mobster stuff. Come on, it's got everything. Like, really. But cement shoes, to answer your question, Nimrod, is when you tie cinder blocks or bricks or something really heavy cement wise to the feet of the body that you're trying to get rid of and toss it in the river so it sinks, or toss it in the water or the lake, the river, wherever, so it sinks. It stays at the bottom long enough not to be discovered.
Yeah, Raven said what I was just getting ready to say. The feet can become disconnected during decomp.
It's not permanent, and that's why we get a lot of
floaters with no feet.
We get bloated floaters. We call them bloated floaters with no feet or parts missing. Yep.
Claire's about to make us an offer we can't refuse.
Oh, Charlie, you know it, Charlie. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, Raven. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a true crime case we can cover. Alphonse Capone.
That is so but Geraldo already opened up the safe.
Yeah, well, Geraldo's stupid. Geraldo was an idiot in the 80s. He's even worse now.
He was an idiot, the idiot of the 80s, and didn't get any better. What can I tell you? But what could we possibly? Worse. I mean, listen. The FBI was after him for so long. The only thing they got on Capone,
tax evasion,
was tax evasion, and you want us to try to go for that? Like, I'm telling you, I don't know. That seems
we can cover prohibition.
True.
I mean, Alphonse was a big one during the prohibition days.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
we are all mad here
with your mafia ties and.
Wait, change that sentence. Back up. Wait a minute. What did you just say? Disclaimer. He knows not what he speaks. I have no mafia connections. I have a mafia obsession about reading about it and watching it as entertainment. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Hey, Janae. Which was the hyped up piece of nothing, Janae? Which one? I want to know. Oh, I hope you talk about Geraldo. I think you might be. When they opened up that was like everybody was on pins and needles. Everybody couldn't wait. I'm telling you.
Raven asked if Capone was the one responsible for the union. I don't believe it was Capone.
No, that Jimmy Hoff is the one that's missing because of the union. right?
Yeah, but it was
Right.
who set up the unions? Eh,
Who?
um, God, I can't think of who the hell his name was.
Wait, real unions or mafia unions? Luciano and all of them got together
Yeah,
and they started with
Luck
the family
that
unions and things
yeah,
like that. But
Lucky
that was,
Luciano
do
was
you
the one I was
mean
thinking
like
of.
the like regular unions, right? What?
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
think
you
so. I think
yeah,
so.
because
Yeah.
you roboted out on me for a minute there, so I
Oh,
have no
well, that
idea
could
what you
have
just
just
said.
been my voice too.
No, it wasn't. It was real
Oh,
robot. Like
stupid
it was
robots.
tech. Stupid robots. Okay.
She's
Oh,
like real unions, the worker unions, Teamsters specifically is
oh,
what Jin said.
oh, and the Teamsters. I know that Jimmy Hoffa. That's Jimmy Hoffa. He's missing too. Like, that one. I would rather look at Jimmy Hoffa than I would Al Capone. Actually, to tell you the truth.
I love Aaron's comment. The lady with the Jersey accent and the Irish hair has no mob connections, right?
All right. I'm gonna stop. I'm never going. This is it. I'm gonna be alone the rest of my life with you people. All this stuff. Oh my god. All these things. All these things. Oh my god. Aaron. Don't help, Aaron. Hey, Jen. Okay. All right. I don't know.
Yeah, no one believes
I
you,
don't know.
Claire.
Nobody. All right. Don't believe me. Don't believe me, then at your own risk.
Don't
There you
believe me,
go.
Jay's
How's that?
hot.
Yeah, don't believe me. That's okay, but don't believe me at your own risk. Y'all, if it's true, y'all should be nicer to me. Damn. What you really would think,
I don't have
I'm telling
bodies
you.
buried,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, Mob Wives was a hot mess, Janae. That show was just unbelievable. It was quite
Claire was
entertaining.
watching. She was watching it, going, "I know this bitch, and I know this bitch, and I
I
know
know
this."
that bitch. I went to school with that one. I used to live next to that one. Yeah, no. It was like I wouldn't mess with that one. But yeah, it was a little too local for me. Like it was really just over the bridge from where I am. You remember I'm central, and that's all north, and then they dragged the bodies through central to get to south to get rid of them. just telling you,
Well,
So
Jen
I'm in.
says, "I bet she knows a few roads into the Barrens."
I how do you, that's what we call Jin. How do you know what we call it down there? You're scaring me, Jin. You're scaring me, Jin. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. I'm not. Stop, Aaron. Really? Oh my gosh. I love Nimrod's comment from before. I love waking up besides Horse's Head. That was like the Godfather movies. Did you watched them all, right? Tell me, Jay. I mean, don't break my
I
heart.
plead the fifth.
Oh my God. Raven, has he not seen the Godfather trilogy? Really?
I haven't watched Sopranos either.
Oh, Jay, I like you. I really love working with you. But sometimes I wonder, how the hell do we get along so well? You don't drink coffee.
No.
You're just like, you don't know mob stuff,
Oh, I know mob
Mm,
stuff.
Well, how do
I
you
know.
know you didn't watch The Godfather?
They don't have to watch The
True.
Godfather to know mob
You
stuff.
are, but this is what surprises me about that. You're movie obsessed. I've seen your studio. You have every movie in the world back there, just about.
I have.
And
I
all right,
actually have the Godfather trilogy. I just
and never
haven't
watched
watched
it.
it.
You are a collector, not a viewer. This is mm, mm, mm. Raven, we have to get Jay, you're just gonna have to watch The Godfather now. It's gonna be a requirement. It's gonna
I'll
have to
watch
make
it
it
at
a
some point.
requirement. No, soon. Like, all right, it might have include. Oh my goodness, I'm blown away, Jay. You don't know, I'm stuttering here. I'm stuttering at the fact that you have it. And The Sopranos was pretty good. Like,
Yeah, I've seen the
that was like,
Goodfellas. I've seen Casino. I've seen Heat.
they're good. They're good. You seen Heat? Okay, they're good.
Oh,
You're
Heat was
good.
fantastic.
All right.
I
Well,
just like I said, I just haven't watched The Godfather.
but the Godfather trilogy is the classic. Like, you need the classic to go forward. You know what I mean? Like you need a good foundation. How
I'm not
about
a Brando fan though. That's the problem.
he's not in it as much as you think.
I know, but he's in it. So
Oh my
the
god.
only thing I've seen Marlon Brando in that I actually liked was the Island of Dr. Moreau.
All right, and he's in that one a lot.
Yeah.
So if you could tolerate that, you will definitely have enough in the. If you liked Goodfellas, you're gonna like The
Oh,
Godfather,
Goodfellas was
especially
fantastic.
as it progresses. Because the story goes on and on and on. Oh,
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
oh, there's a couple other people in there. Woo, I'm not alone.
I love De Niro and Pacino.
Oh, if you gotta go mob actors, I gotta go De Niro 100% over Pacino.
I do. But if you want to go drug obsessed, go Pacino
Oh
because
yeah.
when he played Tony,
I gotta.
in
I'm gonna. You guys are gonna. I haven't seen Scarface either.
All right, that's it. We're done. We are not streaming together again until you get right. You need to get right, Jay, with this stuff. Like you have not seen Scarface, really?
I haven't seen Scarface.
Really.
I'm not a big drug movie type person.
Well, that was mob stuff too.
Yeah, not.
And
really.
I could understand it was really drug related.
Wasn't Scarface more of a cartel?
Yes, it's cartel. But cartels are just drug mobs. Okay, so it's mob related with a reason, and the reason being, their business of choice is drugs.
See, I prefer movies like Rock and Roll Wrestling Women Against the Aztec Mummy.
No, it's not our homework, Juliana, but you can. I mean, you don't have to watch movie. It's just an obsession of mine. I'm just busting on him. I love Jay. He's not going anywhere.
I've seen The Departed. The Departed was fucking excellent.
Departed was excellent,
Yeah. I haven't watched The Irishman yet. I've got it in. I've started it, but I didn't go very far into it.
Well, do me a favor. At least watch that one. That one was very well done. That one was really well done. The Irishman. It really was. That's actually one of my favorites. Being a Jersey mobster with red hair who's got Irish roots. Yeah. It's a favorite.
She's not, but she's not mobbed up.
But I'm not mobbed up at all. No, I'm just quoting Aaron. Like, I'm just quoting Aaron. I'm not. That was not true confessions, people. But anyway, we filled the hour with a little bit of nonsense at the end, but that's kind of fun. Hello, I am your Irish. Yes, thank you. Hello, Irishman. Nice to meet you. Hey, which scarred you for life, Raven? Which one? Now I got to go back and look. Which movie scarred her life?
She watched Scarface before they deleted the scenes.
Oh, that was rough. Yeah, I agree with you, Raven. There were some things we did not need to see, and I agree with you.
Oh, Public Enemies was really good too. I've seen Public Enemies. That was good.
Yeah. Jin, you're absolutely correct. Now I'm scared. Where you from, dude? Like, you must be closer than I think. You know all about the Barrens. Mm-hmm. That's in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. A couple of 100 square miles. We got a swamp there.
I know definitely. Barrens, but I don't think it's the same Barrens we're talking about.
No, this one's definitely in New Jersey, and it's where the pine trees grow out of swamp, and they call it the Pine Barrens down there.
The Barrens I'm thinking are in Derry, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Robsky, I loved The Equalizer too. I did.
Well, Equalizer was good.
I did. I loved that. See, I like both sides of it. I don't only like the mob base where they're pro mob. I love mob movies that are actually, on the anti side too, with the police, the FBI, like all of that. Like I like it all. Yeah. Public Enemies was a great movie. Yeah, that was bad, Raven. Yeah, I hear you. We didn't need to see that, right? They do mention the Barrens a lot in The Sopranos, Aaron. They mention, actually, they drive right through my town and they hang out at Convention Hall in Asbury Park, which is the town next to where I grew up. And we actually watched some of the filming and everything, too. It was really cool.
I like movies like Zombie Strippers.
What?
Zombie Strippers?
I can't even.
That movie was so bad.
All right. Well, I mean, the closest I got to that is I watched Z with Brad Pitt. That one. That's it. The one with the Z in it.
Oh, World War Z. That was a good
World War
movie.
Z. That's it.
That was a good movie.
That had zombies. I like zombie movies. I'm not so sure. What do they strip off? Their decaying flesh? Like, what are you talking about? Zombies?
Let's
It's like
just say it stars Jenna Jameson and Robert Englund.
it's a porn movie. There you go.
Not really. It's not a porn movie though.
It sounds like one
It
with who
sounds
you
like
just
one,
told
but
me
it's
is in
not.
it. I just can't. What are they? I don't even want to know. I just zombies are
A
cool
strip
in a
club.
way.
Okay, to give you what happens is a barrel of nasty stuff falls off a military trailer at the back end of a strip club. One of the
Hmm.
girls gets infected and goes in and starts turning the strippers into zombies.
Damn. Well, you
Mm-hmm.
got fans. I mean, Charlie and them are,
Oh
fans.
yeah, I love me some B movies.
Oh my god. I like B really cheesy horror movies that are B like Killer Tomatoes and stuff like that. You remember
Oh, I love
Mystery
those.
Science
Oh
Theater?
yeah,
I'm
Mystery
just I'm
Science
just
Theater.
gonna give this like 3 minutes because two of our friends who, if they don't do it, I'll let them remain nameless. We're talking about creating a sci-fi channel, like for reviews and stuff like that. And immediately, all I could picture was Mystery Science Theater,
Theater
Mystery
3000.
Science, the
Oh,
3000, right? And I
love that
loved the
show.
snark, and I loved watching all those horrible, and I mean absolutely horrible. I cannot believe they got made. B horror movies. Remember the one with the big giant rabbits?
Uh-huh.
and the killer tomatoes and just like, oh my god, and like the slime and all of that stuff. Like I would love the Blob, Robsky, you're right, like the best one.
Charlie's seen zombie strippers.
Yes, I Charlie seems fascinated with
Yeah,
it. That's why I was like
it
giving
was
it a
not a
little like,
porn. It's just a
what?
lot of nasty fake boobies.
Hmm. I would enjoy Zombie Stripper then because it's cheesy as all. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we'll find that and do movie night in the Discord. That would be great. I mean,
Oh,
maybe, yeah, Night of the Lepus. That's what it was, Aaron. And they didn't show those rabbits for the longest time. But when they finally did, I burst out laughing so much. I literally spit. I almost vomited. I was laughing so hard when they finally showed those rabbits. I was like, what the hell? But no, fascinated. No, you guys are all great. We went from murder to like a corny B movie horrors here. That's a great juxtaposition. But Juliana, I love vampire movies too. When it comes to movies and books, I will indulge in the supernatural, even though I don't I have a hard evidential mind. Like I don't believe in that stuff, but I do love being entertained by it. And
as
I have
long
to
as they're
say,
not sparkly vampires, I'm okay.
you know what? I'm with you with the sparkly vampires. I wasn't so cool with that series because it was just too yippy yuppie young girl love stuff for me, But hell, Anne
Raven said
Rice,
the
wait,
books were so much better though.
historical Anne Rice vampires. Like I read that whole
Oh,
series. I read every word she wrote on that. Everyone. I know Armand. I read every single,
yeah,
all of them. And
Armand
it,
was great. Lestat was good.
yeah,
My
except for
favorite of that series was Memnock.
Mennock, exactly. He's one of the really ancient
Yeah,
ones.
that was probably my favorite out of that series of books.
All right, Jay. I think I'll keep you. It's cool. Yeah, we'll keep you around. That's true, right, Raven? Every word she wrote, and then she tied the Witches series into it, and it got really, really involved. Like that, Monarch the Devil, it ties into the Witches story. Well, because obviously, you have read the books with Raven.
Pandora was good too. Yeah, Vitario. That was probably one of my favorites.
I did too, Charlie. Every single one. And you know what else? I even read her books on Jesus. When she wrote a book about what it was like for Jesus to grow up as a child, like when he did, I read those too. Like, she's a great writer. She really is.
She was. Yeah.
And when I got rid of all of the books in my home because of trying to save the planet and stuff like that, I decided to go to the library instead of buying books all the time. The only series that I saved were all of my Anne Rice's. Like I have every Anne Rice book. I saved some of my autographed cookbooks from certain people. And I also saved like the Harry Potter series, but that was only because I thought that the grand boys would want to read them in the original format.
I bought those. I bought each one of those the day they came out.
And I do have some like antique books, like
Me
the,
too.
stupid books. Like I have the essays of Spinoza with real watermark papers
Mhm.
on the front and the back, a little one like that. And I have Cahill Gibran in an original. And I have like this really, really old one, which is a tour of France that somebody hand wrote a book with plated pictures. Okay. And then had it printed for their family. And it was in an old antique bookstore. And someone knew that I liked books and had bought it for me. And it's like, you can't even touch this book. It's so old. It's so like dusty. Like you look at it, it looks like it's going to fall apart. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. But I like the smell of books, but not that old, But
I'm trying to remember the damn name of the book that I've got.
They were, Jen. They were good. You even know the titles of them. You guys are good. Look at you reading, fans. You like it in the Discord. Then we've got a book section in there. I'm glad you all like that. Praise Jesus. It's so cool. Man, we got a lot to do. The only thing that I hated about the Anne Rice series when it went to the movies was that she put Tom Cruise as the stat, and she broke my heart. Like that little weasel.
I have got a legit copy of the Voynich manuscript.
No way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got no English into it. You open the book, it's like you're looking at the Voynich manuscript.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It is fantastic.
I love Stephen King too, Raven. And you know who else I like, who's a very prolific writer? Some of his stuff drives me crazy, but most of it. I like Dean Koontz because he produces a lot and he like trips me out. But for a while there, he kept putting his books back out under different titles. Like there was one called Whispers about the twins, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, if you've ever read that book way back. And it came out in 3 different titles. So I ended up reading it 3 different times and I would get halfway through before I realized it was the same damn book. I'm like, damn, you dumb girl. I can't believe you're doing this again. But yeah, it was very confusing. That's right. He doesn't know how to close a story. He does, but I kind of like that. He kind of leaves it open a little bit. And then sometimes he writes the same story over and over again a little bit, I did enjoy his Lestat only because I love Lestat because he did play him right, Charlie. But I do not like Tom Cruise. I got issues with Tom Cruise for sure, mostly because of Scientology. Well, yeah, you know what? You guys are really making, like, I was going to close the stream, but if you keep talking about books, you'll keep me here forever. Kuntz's Frankenstein is epic. I agree with you, Charlie. That's one of the few of his that I will read again and again because of the way it's written. Like, if an author writes in a certain way to intrigue me, I could read those words again and again without being bored. Like, I always find something new in what they're trying to say. Like some writers write just to get like you with one thought, and other writers put stuff in there that you're going to find later. It's true. It's like deeper, I don't know. This is real, man. Y'all, you murder minions. You're all pretty cool. You definitely are. You're not only into murder and legal stuff, but the books that we all seem to be like pretty similar in the stuff we like, except for Jay, not like getting into the mob. But hey, if all of us mob obsessed people work hard enough at it, we could get him in. And once he's in, he can't get out. You just can't get out. Once you're in, you're in. He is that California stuff. Oh, the golden retrievers. There's always a dog. You're right, Charlie. There's always that dog. Yeah. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Jay's broken. Jay, you're not broke. A little coffee will fix you. It's like some coffee, a little. I recommend drinking a cup of coffee while you watch The Sopranos, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, no thanks.
Listen, opening scene, he's watching ducks in his backyard pool and he's talking to his therapist. It's like
I have thought about watching The Sopranos. I actually do have it queued
It's
up.
in
But I
little
just haven't.
chunks. It's not like you have to commit yourself to like a whole movie. It's a
Yeah.
40 minutes. It's a HBO series.
Well, I
And
know. It's
yeah,
just I've got to get to a point where I'm ready to sit down and watch a series. Like I said, I'm just finishing up The Mentalist. And,
I love that show too.
oh, so good. I'm a little
That show.
iffy where they're with the FBI now. So I'm the last 2 seasons. I'm a little iffy
Mm-hmm.
on it, but the first 5 seasons was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I called
agree.
Red John from the beginning.
Did you? You
I
know
did.
what you did?
Yeah.
I'm sure, and hopefully, I hope you're right then. Yep. Well, I think on that, unless anybody has anything else you want to keep going on, Haddock's books are good. Yes, I agree.
The Alex Cross books are good too.
Mhm. Alex Cross books are absolutely excellent. Oh, and I don't know if you like legal, if anybody likes legal like I do, and you want to get the behind the scenes kind of stuff or the everyday kind of stuff, John Grisham, just he writes legal like nobody. Like I like him. It's easy to digest. For me, I read it like as soon as it comes out. I've read everything he's written. Um, as soon as I get my hands on a book, I'm done in like 3-4 hours. Like I go straight through that stuff. But the last one wasn't really legal. It was about basketball players coming to America from foreign countries like Nigeria, like war obsessed countries, and coming here to be stars. And it was a pretty poignant story about coming from nothing into something and not being prepared for it. And it was pretty good. And it wasn't as legal. It really had very little legal in it, actually, except for the immigration laws and the things that they had to do and the process and, trying to get people out of a country that's war obsessed, getting them into other countries, trying to get their families and everything, finding people. It was really involved. Yeah, Janae, I like him a lot. Mm. I found him when I was younger, and I just started reading like everything that he wrote. Even though some of it is like really quick, really quick. Oh, I see you like him too, Aaron.
My
Yeah.
favorite books are fantasy type, especially those that revolve around like Forgotten Realms. It's like one of my
Mhm.
favorite artists. Is R.A. Salvatore and his Legend of
Yeah.
Drizzt books. Oh, so
Uh-huh.
good.
I like that too.
I've got
You know what?
I've got all of them.
I'm not good with a lot of names of authors and everything, but but I could say like I read constantly. So like you name a book, I've probably read it. Like you name an author, I probably know who they are if I look at what they've done. But I don't remember like the ones unless I'm like really invested like with getting everything that they do. I don't remember their names. I'm really bad with names on that point. Well, Charlie, you don't do silence. We would get along well. I talk constantly. You could be Julianne. I love crime books. There's a female crime author. I'm trying to remember her name. She's right here from New Jersey, and she's pretty good. She's really good. And I have to remember her name. I will for the next time we get together. But I'm sure you've read her, Julianne. She does true crime, right? And then there's another one who does fictional crime stories, and they're both right from here in New Jersey, and I love them. Harlan Colvin is good too, always.
So I've got some homework for you, Claire.
You have some what?
I got some homework for you.
Homework for me? No, wait. I give you homework.
Well,
No.
yeah, but I've got some
No.
homework for you too.
Okay, so if you do mine, which is to watch one Soprano episode,
Yeah.
just one, okay? Just one. 40 minutes. You can give me 40 minutes, can't you? Raven, what do
Yeah.
you think? Yeah, okay. And I'll give you 2 weeks because you're not feeling well. It doesn't have to be by this.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 weeks also.
Okay, what you got?
I'll
take. All right.
So the next episode of True Serial, we're going to be going over the 23 physical abnormalities of serial killers according to Sue Collette.
Oh yeah.
Which
Okay.
actually comes from PhD Joel Norris.
Okay.
But the week after that, we're going to be covering David Parker Ray.
Is that my homework? David Parker Ray?
David Parker Ray. So
Okay. Am I allowed to have assistance? Or is
yeah,
this something
yeah,
I have to do
absolutely.
solo? All
Anybody
right.
wants to chip in and give clear notes or anything on David Parker
Mm-hmm.
Ray, go for it.
Y'all know where
Because
to find me, David Parker Ray.
all I gotta say is,
Holy crap.
I'm
Are you
not.
going to say holy
I'm
crap?
sorry, but not sorry.
Damn. Well, what you did to me Mother's Day, if you weren't sorry for that and you're saying you're sorry for this, I'm scared. David Parker Ray, huh? Uh-oh. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. So those 23. Don't forget to link me back to that article because I think I closed out on Sue Colaho's website. Did you link it in your True Serial from the other
No,
day?
but I'll throw it to you here real
Okay.
quick.
Will you throw it to me?
I'll
Okay.
send it to you in the Discord.
Yeah. That was a good one to keep, that website.
Mm-hmm.
It will look really interesting. And it should have, but I just closed out. You want narrative or criminal records? Aaron, let's talk. You know where I am. We'll go to Discord. We'll talk. I want narrative. I'm from I'm all mobbed up. Dude, you want to join?
The cool thing with David Parker Ray is we can actually pull up crime scene photos.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, what song is that from? I think I've heard that recently. Those lyrics.
Ask Raven, she'll tell you.
Oh, Janae, Izzy, and Janae, I do believe you're in the Discord too. So yeah, you could hook me up there privately or publicly. With DMs. In the Discord, DMs are better for information because it's easier to save and move right over to my computer. But if you have to use Twitter, I'm cool with that. It's okay. But I prefer Discord DM if you can. Okay. That's what I thought. Monsters. Okay. All right. All right. On that. All right. You guys are great. Julianne, The Great Gatsby is a classic. It's lovely. You have a mob story for me? Ooh. You know what? We could do mob stories that involve murder and legal cases. Absolutely. I'm not opposed to that because you'd be making me really happy. They're two of my favorite passions are legal and mobs, and they go together like steak dinner and red wine. So there you go. They make me very happy. Throw some chocolate in there, like making an unsolved case that we actually get to look at. We're good.
Boston mob story. Ooh, the town was really good.
Uh-huh. There's quite a few of there are Boston related police mobster movies and genres and series that you saw. But did you ever watch The Wire? Do you remember when The Wire was out?
No, I haven't watched it. I've got pulled up because something I had seen the other day reminded me. It's just one I never got around to watching it.
That one was good too.
But I have watched like The Shield. Oh, so good.
Oh my God, The Shield. Michael Chiklis as a bad guy.
Loved him.
Holy, we could stay here another half hour talking about that.
Michael
Him
Chiklis,
in the phone book. Oh my God,
Michael
ruined my
Chiklis
life.
at the end of the season finale, the series finale of Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, exactly. Oh yeah.
Fantastic. Did you hear about the theory behind that?
No, go ahead, tell me, because
it's the same character.
Really?
It's what he was doing after the Shield. Everything went to shit for him. He ended up driving truck.
Wow. Really?
It was a theory put out there by what's his face? The guy who wrote it. Kurt Sutter.
Kurt Sutter from Sons of Anarchy, the guy who wrote Anarchy. Okay.
And was one of the main writers on the Shield. He said that it is very possible that it's the same character, but I'm going to leave that to your imagination.
I'm going to imagine it because that kind of, you wonder what happened to him afterwards. And why not? Why wouldn't he be like running truck and dealing with gangs and stuff? Like, why not? Like he had it, he was good and bad and everything all at the same time. Him in that phone book, he just wiped me out. They just what he was the commish, and then he played the Shield. Like
I love the commish. The commish was so good. That's what I remember from it was the commish.
I like that one too, Raven. I've just discovered Shinedown recently, and I'm really obsessed. I've been using it for ads and stuff like that, and I play it a lot.
I watched
I'm really loving their
I
stuff.
I watched the
Yeah.
first episode of The Bastard Executioner and thought this was stupid. Glad it got canceled.
Wait,
And I haven't watched Mayans because I'm upset with Kurt Sutter because he said After Sons was supposed to be the first 9 and he come with the
right.
Mayans instead. So I was a
And
little
then,
pissed.
and no, that's right. What that I didn't watch it either, Jay. I felt the same way. He promised us
The
a
first
backwards
9.
look, the first
Yeah.
9, and I really wanted that because it was so ingrained in Son of Anarchy.
And then he
and
got kicked. Yeah, and then he got kicked off of the Mayans.
There you go.
So yeah, I haven't watched the Mayans. I might start watching because season 4, Tig's supposed to be back in season 4 of Mayans. So I might have to, because Tig was always one of my favorite. Him and Venus. Oh
Yeah. No. Tig. I love Tig. He's the British guy, right? Like with
no,
the
that's
dark.
Chibs.
No, Chibs. I love Chibs. Chibs lived.
with the
Chibs
with the glass
lived.
house smile. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chibs is the
Chibs
president.
lived. Yeah, I love Chibs. I had to think for Chibs. Me and accents and everything.
Yeah, he's got the
foreigner.
Chibs is the one with the Glasgow smile.
I know he got the Glasgow everything, dude.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, he was bad. He was just bad enough. But
his whole I really liked Kurt because that was the whole show was a take Kurt Sutter's take on Hamlet, and I thought it was really well done.
It really was, and I'm one of the few people in my circle that actually love the endings. I love how he offed everybody. Like it was absolutely the way Jenna got done. That's how it should have been done.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way to get Jenna done than what happened.
You should have seen how happy Raven was when Tara got killed off.
Exactly. Raven, I'm with you. Raven, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. She pissed me off like to no end all the time. Yeah. Right. No, it was definitely very well done the way he wrote them all down, and including the way Charlie went.
I was so pissed when they killed off Opie, though. I was so mad.
Yeah, but they had to.
I know they had to. I understand that they had to be done, but I was so pissed.
Because otherwise, all the rest of the anger and the problems would not make any sense. If Opie was still there, that couldn't happen.
I get that 100%. I understand that the show could not have continued if Opie stayed alive, but it still pissed me off. I was so mad. I was almost done. Like, you killed off the best character on the show, you bastard.
I hear you, Raven. Was she not the most sanctimonious little bee you ever met? Like, she wanted it both ways. I want my cake and eat it too. I'm gonna play good girl while I mess with the bad girls, and I do this like, girl. And she was the worst. Like, she was just as bad as everybody else. I don't know. She really.
I really wish they would continued on with the Irish. Arc
that was a good.
Really good. I wish they would have continued on that more when they went over to Ireland and
Right.
met with Sam Bell and whatnot.
Well, that's another way that they could still continue, because we got the Chibs tie-in. Like he's the head when we left, right? And then we got that tie-in, and he's very tied in over there. And there is a whole sanction over there of this club, so to speak. So there could be a great little new show thing going on if Kurt would just not be a jerk, but he sold out and he did what he did, and now he got kicked off. Now he's got to find a new platform. But get on it, Kurt. Like, there's still stuff to write. Like, come on. He could definitely do it.
They had to have killed off Tara. There was it had to.
Oh
be
yeah,
done. The whole arc,
they had
arc
to.
With
Mrs.
Gemma
D.
had to have been done.
Yeah. That had to go. And Charlie, I agree with you. Stephen King's The Mist, the way that they did that for television was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but it should have ended the way the book ended. The way the book ended was so much better.
But I really I loved when he took care of everybody, and even he had to do his own son, everybody. Like, that ending just was, to me, was more real. Like, that's how it would have been. You know what I mean? Like, and the way it just twisted us at the end, because I like books that twist and turn, Well, anyway, on that's an hour and a half for us. I think we're going to thank you guys. Besides being murder and updates and, finding a new case, this was really pleasant,
Yeah.
almost like I feel so nerdy. I feel so nerdy loved right now. It's like book club. Like, yeah, y'all right. You guys are all okay. You're all okay for me.
Yeah, I
Books
gotta
of
go. I
life.
gotta go rest my
Yeah.
voice because I've got a show in the
Yes.
morning.
Yes, you do. What are you doing tomorrow? Let's
Atlantis.
tell the people. You're doing Atlantis. We're gonna. All right. So Jay over at Hereticals, that will be 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Over at Hereticals, if it's already up, I will put it back on my community tab.
I still gotta put it. I still gotta.
Can you put it up, and I'll put it on my community tab so you all can find the link quite easily. Yeah. Okay, and we'll go support Jay a little bit, or at least catch it in the recaps, because everybody wants to know what happened with Atlantis. I can't wait. If I don't see you in the morning, because I'm kind of get addicting to sleeping like in the morning for some reason the last few days. So if I'm not there, I will catch the recap for sure. Yeah. Well, I will try to be there to support you because it's an interesting subject, and I want to know what's going on. You're going to surprise us with something?
Maybe.
Have you cracked it?
I'm going to give you my thoughts on Atlantis. So I'm going to give you some facts and figures, but facts and thoughts and whatnot. And then I'm going to give you my take.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what I like. We want to hear it. We want to hear all about that. So, all right. So on Atlantis, it'll be. And for everybody else, thank you so much for contributing so much tonight. Getting to know a little bit more about all of you. And wait, why is this? Okay. Whoa. You would not believe what just happened to my laptop. Like, you all just disappeared and then you came back. And when you came back, you were much bigger than you used to be. That's kind of scary. That was kind of weird. That was really weird. You're all like at 500%. I had to try to figure it. Oh, that's not cool. All right. On that, I'm going to put the outro on. Good night, everybody. For those of you interested, there'll be VC later on this evening. If you want to continue any of these conversations, just hit us up. As far as information on who was this guy, Parker Ray?
David Parker Ray.
David Parker Ray. Okay, David Parker Ray. All right. Anybody got information on him? Hit me up. I got homework. And Jay has to watch one episode of The Sopranos. Let's see. We'll see how we do.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye, everyone.